Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another fantastic episode of the Not So Fast podcast, where even the multiverse itself will fold in just to watch it. I am your host, John.
If they, I'm Alex. But if they fold in, how? Never mind.
We'll get back to that in a second.
It's all about my theory. It's all about my scientific theory about the multiverse watching us. So don't worry, I'll explain it later.
Yeah, so hi, Greg here again. Nice to see y'all, or whatever again. Yeah, nice to meet these guys again. So, Johnny Boy, what's in the news?
Oh God, what do we got? Well, you told us a very interesting story. Well, you started to tell us, and I told you to stop, wait for the podcast because I want to hear it.
Okay, so I do got a couple.
Yeah,
of things.
shoot them off. Shoot them off.
So I'll just go with the first thing that I learned recently. So Maxwell Adams, the creator of the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, he had recently pitched a musical 1-hour special to CN to try and revive the series. Now, the plot wasn't really told. He wanted to keep that close to himself in case Cartoon Network decided not to go with it. But judging from the promotional image that was made, it looked like it was going to be a time travel story. And unfortunately, Cartoon Network decided not to do it. And when asked on Reddit why, Maxwell just said that they were afraid that, the target audience of this current generation of kids wouldn't know what Billy and Mandy was because they weren't around for it.
Teen Titans go, morons. Sorry.
So, unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to get another Billy and Mandy special. Which is a shame, but...
And I think this happened because they were supposed to do I thought they were supposed to do an Ed, and Eddie reboot. Yeah, and that kind of got the same style. Treatment.
Oh, no. We've actually discussed this before. There was never going to be an Ed and Eddie reboot. That was just a joke made a couple years ago. But this was a legitimate pitch that... that Max had tried to make. Unfortunately, that didn't go through. What did go through, however, is that Gendy Tartakovsky, same creator of such shows as Samurai Jack, Symbiotic Prime, new show coming out on Cartoon Network, probably sometime in the middle of next year for fall. New action show about basically aliens reincarnated into kids fighting off against the alien menace or something like that. Unfortunately, my internet is not working too well, but if I look into it later, I could probably tell you the name of it.
That's kind of out there, and I kind of like that.
So take that initial premise with a grain of salt. I could have gotten that completely wrong, but we do know that besides Primal, Gendy is getting a new show on Cartoon Network.
I kind of hope this goes through because I like the premise of that alone. Like, that is so weird and out there in a day where we have, this is what I was going to bring up, and I don't know why Cartoon Network did not want to do this whole Billy and Mandy thing. Because as of right now, we're living in an era of nostalgia. Mm-hmm. If you really look at it.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of remakes.
There's a lot of remakes, a lot of reboots.
Stuff, getting continuations or attempts at
exactly. And I'll get into the Matrix 4 later. So I don't know. I think that they could have definitely cashed in on that if they marketed it the right way. Because as of right now, Cartoon Network is really starting to try to delve into that Disney idea where there is junior kid stuff in the morning, like Disney Junior was doing. And there's nothing wrong with that at all whatsoever.
Well, I was actually going to bring up the fact that they changed their whole schedule.
Yeah.
And
what was it, Cartoon Network Nito or something like that?
I don't know. I consider this to be the second time in the channel's history where they're doing a preschool block. Because they did this years ago, back in 2006. I forgot what the name of it was.
I did too, but it was
just par for the course. And honestly, the reason is more simple than you think. It's just that TV is dying. Ratings aren't as good as ever.
Because everything's on YouTube and
with the advent of streaming services, where you can literally get an entire series that you used to watch as a kid on a streaming service, plus more, and with more people putting movies out there on these streaming services and in the theaters, TV is just there's no point for TV anymore. Yeah. The only point for TV is the live shows, like game shows that are probably dropping in the ratings, or weekly shows that are still TV and cable based. There's no way they're gonna put that on a streaming service till after the full season is out.
And then-
And I saw another great example before Greg moves on is I watched I'll get into more of the trailer later. I watched the Halloween Kills trailer.
Oh, I
earlier.
saw that too.
We're gonna get into that later, and the only point I want to make is at the beginning or the end. It says in theaters, also going to be streaming on Peacock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I have Peacock. If I don't go see it in theaters, I will definitely watch it here because that movie looks tremendous.
I can tell you right now with 100% certainty, me and my mother are going to see it in theaters.
But we'll get into the trailer later.
Like, we've been fans forever.
We'll get into the trailer later.
Except
'Cause I
for
do
three.
have that
We
written
don't
down.
talk about Halloween 3.
So
That
I
was a
do.
dumpster fire.
So, like, the next thing I wanted to bring up was the fact that after 20 years, Family Guy has stopped airing now on Cartoon Network's Adult Swim.
Is there a
Did they
reason
pull
behind
it or did
They pulled it because technically now Disney owns the rights to Family Guy. So, after a 20-year long
Oh my
period,
God! I forgot
the
about
contract
that.
rights for CN to air Family Guy on their channel had literally expired 2 or 3 days ago. And if you guys didn't notice, you could probably find it on YouTube right now. Adult Swim did a special bumper after the last episode aired, featuring all of the Adult Swim characters basically saying goodbye to the Family Guy crew.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Don't be so surprised though, because the last episode they showed was the one where Stewie got impregnated by Brian's puppies. Disgusting,
So wait,
but definitely a way to.
So wait, do you think-
Well, with a bang, I guess.
are they gonna put Are they gonna put Family Guy on Disney Plus?
There's a chance that they might.
Because I know they put The
Heard about
Simpsons.
it.
So, like, the thing with doing a podcast out of the blue is that you don't really if you don't have the time to like do the research, you might not get all the details, but you generally get the gist of what you're figuring out. And from my understanding, this had been a result of Disney acquiring the the animation rights to all of Fox's cartoons. So this includes shows like
Bob's Burgers, Archer,
I never-
Simpsons.
Simpsons, now Family Guy.
Yeah, Archer may not be in that. but
I
you
thought
get-
about to say I thought Archer was owned by Comedy Central. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah.
I know
think
they
Archer is still owned
primarily.
by Fox, but the point is, the point I'm getting across is that this will be the second. Well, this will be the longest show that Adult Swim has ever had the rights to. And the first time this happened was when they had to relinquish the rights to Futurama to Comedy Central back in
Oh, I
2010.
Yeah.
played on Adult Swim. Oh my God.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I know I shouldn't have watched it when I was younger. It was Futurama. It was 2 episodes of Futurama, then 2 episodes of Family Guy, and then they got into the really risque stuff after midnight.
Yeah.
Like
Because-
Robot Chicken.
Yeah, because Adult Swim would start at 10 o'clock when I was younger.
Mhm.
And now it starts at 9 because the Adult Swim just has so much programs that they have to put out, like Rick and Morty, all the new stuff they're coming out
Mhm.
with.
Yeah.
But that's interesting because now we've heard Marvel is definitely diving, or not just Marvel, sorry, Disney is definitely diving into the risque stuff like Family Guy because Kevin Feige that had the Kevin Feige had a Marvel, which I know for a fact he probably works very close with executives in Disney. Disney greenlighted a rated R Deadpool 3. So we know for a fact that Disney's really trying to get stuff. You make a joke about what the Disney empire is, and a lot of people have made it. I've made jokes about it. You guys made jokes about it.
Mhm.
But they are really trying to make something for everybody.
Yeah.
And they are taking care of what they own. And I appreciate that.
I'm happy they're not going that everything has to be PG route.
Oh, God, no. Especially with them acquiring Family Guy. That is the least PG show you can get.
Well, there's further. Family Guy does teeter on that line, but there are shows that go even further.
But we're going to dive. Actually, we're going to go right from the TV show news to movie news because a couple lines of movie news.
I would like to go into something a little later, but let's do the movie news.
What do you got, bud? Say it. I don't care.
Well, okay, it's 2 things, maybe 1 thing at the moment. So this is jumping over to Netflix now. They finally released that second He-Man cartoon,
The CGI one.
the CGI
I saw clips of it on Netflix.
I haven't finished the entire season. I'm on episode 8. I can tell you now, it's a lot more fun and entertaining
Is it?
than Revelations.
I saw the big ass sword he has. Like,
Yeah, no.
it's an updated version of the Master, or not
Yeah,
Master Sword. God.
I will tell you straight up, He-Man's design is kind of wonky, but like I definitely love this show and the direction it's going. Especially because of just again, the show is just fun. It's definitely not something that's going to be like too serious or too like
Politically
story-driven.
correct or stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, like. I think that the best part is how they handled the whole Randor turning into Skeletor thing. Spoilers if you haven't seen it.
I gotta watch it. I'm not a big He-Man fan, but the clips I saw, like the trailer they show on Netflix for it, is kind of cool.
Like, long story short, Skeletor is still the same goofy sort of character he was in the original series or in all iterations, but he's probably more scarily competent than any of his other incarnations, in my opinion. Like, he's goofy but threatening. And the last thing here, which I'm not going to go over immediately until probably later because I just saw this now. This is apparently Marvel Studios is promoting an executive who believes the X-Men name is outdated.
The X-Men name is outdated?
Yep. The Walt Disney Company and Marvel Studios have promoted Victoria Alonso to be the new president of physical, post-production, VFX, and animation for Marvel Studios.
Okay.
Alonso will oversee the divisions across the studio's slate of films and series and continue to report to Marvel Studios co-president Luis Desposito as Deadline reports. Apparently, again, I will probably go into this more later. After
Yeah, because I kind of want to hear this because if you change the X-Men's name, you are alienating a whole lot of fans right there.
Yes. So,
and it's not just the nostalgic factor; it's the current people that read the comics.
yeah. So I'll read into this more and then probably
All
get
right.
into it later. But let's move on to the next.
So let's go to movie news. Movie news. There's actually a lot of news surrounding Venom 2, and a lot of it's coming from Tom Hardy himself, Eddie Brock / Venom.
Mhm.
Now we've all seen Venom 1.
Yes.
Did you hear that they pushed up Venom 1? They didn't delay it; they pushed it up
Yes.
to October 1st. Okay. Tom Hardy wants to explore the Marvel multiverse in the Venom sequels.
All right.
Tom Hardy is apparently very high on a Venom 3, and with the way Venom 2 turned out, he is very excited about it. Apparently, Venom 2 showcased real well. They got everything what they needed in, and because all three of these Venom stories can be tied right into one, because Tom Hardy wants to explore the multiverse, and again, there's rumors from Tom Hardy himself with the set photos of the hat he was wearing on set, that there could be a Venom cameo in Spider-Man No Way Home.
All right.
Now we don't know what this cameo is yet, but he was kind of setting up the rumor mill, because we all know the rumor mill has been real heavy on Spider-Man No Way Home lately.
Yeah.
Surprisingly enough, there hasn't been more rumors since Saturday.
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson, who is playing Carnage in Venom 2 / Cletus Cassidy, wants a Zombieland 3. I am okay with that.
How was Zombieland 2? I haven't
Good.
watched that yet.
It was good.
Zombieland 2 is okay as a sequel, but definitely not up to par with the first one.
No, but it was definitely worth. Like, I saw it in theaters, and it was worth the watch. Like, all the same characters come back. They cast new ones for new They cast new people for new characters. One of my favorite characters in that movie is Rosario Dawson, who plays the female version of Tallahassee. Like, I'm not even kidding you. She loves zombie hunting. She loves the violence of Zombieland. It's fantastic. Rosario Dawson does an excellent job. She's an excellent actress, and she's really playing the board right now, because she was Ahsoka Tano. She was God, what was her name in Clerks 2? I can't remember, but she was in Clerks 2. was in Zombieland 2. She was in Jay and Silent Bob Reboot for like a 5-minute scene. And it's amazing. Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage is out on October 1st.
Spit it out now.
That's all, folks. With the news and rumors of Venom entering the MCU, we could possibly get one of my favorite incarnations of Venom. And we're getting very close to it.
Which is
Agent Venom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Which Agent Venom is not Eddie Brock, but Flash Thompson. Peter's childhood school bully turned later into friend. So, because when Eddie Brock lost the symbiote, went to Flash Thompson when he was in the military. It was a military experiment, but it was. We're getting closer to that. We're getting closer and closer to the monstrous Venom that is the hero that he is in the comics right now, and I love that. I love the fact that they could have made this a horror-esque movie. They didn't. I'm thankful for that. They could have done it a different way entirely, but Venom 1 was decent and good. Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. I'm hoping it is the Captain America situation where the first movie was decent, the second movie was good, and the third movie was even better. So, but yeah, that's kind of falls out the Venom rumor mill is he wants to join the MCU. He wants to explore the Venomverse. He actually used that paraphrase. He goes, there's a Spider-Verse and there's also a Venomverse, which I would love to explore in the sequel. I'm like, oh my God, this guy gets it. Now looking at Tom Hardy, you wouldn't think he was a comic book guy. Apparently he is, so I'm happy for that. Going on to more movie news. Possible Red Death as the main villain in the Flash movie. Now, for those of you that don't know who the Red Death is, he is a Bruce Wayne from Negative Earth 36, I believe. Somebody will correct me. He is the Bruce Wayne / Batman who's had enough with the villainy, who's had enough with everything in Gotham. So what does he do? He gets the most famous weapons from the Flash's Rogues Gallery that are able to paralyze him, i.e. Mirror Master's gun, Captain Cold's gun, Heatwave's gun, and Golden Glider's gun, and Weather Wizard's wand. He is able to stop the Flash, chain the Flash to the Batmobile. Mind you, it is a souped-up version of the Batmobile. Drives into the Speed Force, and the Speed Force combines Barry Allen with Bruce Wayne, and out comes Red Death. Now, Red Death is rumored to be the villain because of the set photo that was released, and it was a Batman chest plate with red painted on it and a lightning logo painted on it. Now, that's led to people believe Red Death is going to be the main villain instead of the Reverse Flash, where they would really take from the comics with the whole Flashpoint storyline. But I like the Red Death idea because not only does it set up
the dark multiverse.
It sets up the dark multiverse, and also it sets up the rest of the multiverse. We see how everything's gonna pan out because rumor is Michael Keaton is returning as Bruce Wayne / Batman, and Ben Affleck is returning as Bruce Wayne / Batman. So we don't know if Michael Keaton's going to be the Thomas Wayne Flashpoint version of Batman, but it also sets up. It does something that they should have done from the beginning. Start a solo movie that sets up everything else.
True. Personally speaking, so on a quick aside, the Earth that Red Death comes from is Negative 52.
I was close. Damn
so I like I agree with you what you say, how one movie should build up into an overarching franchise. However, I believe that this would be too early to bring up the Dark Multiverse. Now I forget what the Snyder Cut, did they reveal Darkseid in the Snyder Cut?
Yes, they did.
Justice League?
Because at the end, there was a portal that opened right up, and the whole Justice League was looking right through it as Wonder Woman, I think, or Superman, could be wrong, threw Steppenwolf's head right through it. And the portal closed, and the last scene of the movie was Darkseid with his Omega beam starting to light up. And he said, we're going to Earth. He basically said, we're going to Earth. That my time has come to go to Earth again. So, but with the recent rumors of Zack Snyder being on the outs with Warner Brothers and the Snyderverse effectively coming to an end with the Justice League Snyder Cut, because Warner Brothers does not want to do work with Zack Snyder. We will never get that fully realized Snyder vision of the Snyderverse for DC Comics. Now, I will be the first to tell you, the Batman v Superman movie was a horrendous start to the franchise. It should not have started with that movie. A lot of people say, "Oh, it started with Man of Steel." No, it officially started with Batman v Superman because of everything they tried to cram in there. When I heard the rumors of the Snyder Cut, I was like, "Cool, great." I'm willing to give this another shot. And yes, it was 4 hours long, but I think it needed to be. I think this first film needed to be 4 hours long because if it was any smaller, we would have had the same problem. So much shit crammed into one movie, and we would have just had the same outcome. Now, one of my main gripes with the DCEU is they need to recast a few people. One of them being Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor.
Yeah, that was kind of a weird one.
Yeah, he didn't play it as a Lex Luthor. He
was supposed to be Alexander.
Yeah, that's what's the weird thing is it's supposed to be Alexander Luthor, the original Lex Luthor's son. But again, you should not have gotten Jesse Eisenberg to play the role. If you wanted a younger Lex Luthor to combat Henry Cavill's Superman, you should have gone with not a Jesse Eisenberg, but let's maybe a Tom Hardy-esque age. I'm not saying Tom Hardy himself, but a Tom Hardy-esque aged person or a Ryan Reynolds-aged person who's been in these serious roles before. Because Lex Luthor is not supposed to be crazy like that. He's not supposed to be funny. He's not supposed to be Joker-esque. Yeah, he's supposed to be
It seems
conniving.
like they're trying to make Lex Luthor the Joker of this universe. And that doesn't sound like a good term.
No, and there's already a Joker for this universe. A lot of people don't like it, but I do.
There is?
Yeah, the Suicide Squad, there was the Jared Leto Joker.
That one's the Joker.
That is the DC Universe Joker, but from what I've heard, Joker's getting recasted. Like a lot of people, there's a lot of backstage tumult on the whole Cyborg actor getting on the outs with Warner Brothers. A lot of people on the outs, or a lot of backstage tumult with Wonder Woman and Joss Whedon with the stories that broke on the Justice League set in the recent years. Apparently, the Joss Whedon version of the Justice League had a lot of backstage drama and a lot of backstage underhandedness and politics playing a role, and not like the government politics, but like
I'm just saying politics playing in general.
Because the guy who played Cyborg does an amazing job. Gal Gadot. What?
Did he say booyah?
No.
Damn it.
Actually, yes, he does. Yes, he does. Before he rockets off to help fight somebody, he just looks all serious. He goes, "Booyah," and he flies off.
Fucking awesome.
And it was amazing.
I want to watch the OG Teen Titans now.
But everybody in there, I was timid at first on the whole Ezra Miller Flash. Like I didn't really understand the choice there, but seeing him in the Snyder Cut, I can see why people like him as the Flash. So I can't wait for the Flash standalone movie.
For the CW or no?
Mm-mm. They have stated the CW verse and the movie verse are separate universes in canon.
Oh shit.
But thanks to the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover, there's only one Earth now, so we don't know if the DC movie universe is actually in the same multiverse, which is weird. Yeah, it's messed up. But Halloween Kills trailer. That's what we're going to move on to next because I actually watched that. You were telling me about that Saturday.
Ooh, yes, dude.
I finally sat down.
I know some people, it's an acquired taste for slasher films, but I would say Halloween is one of the, if not the best one.
It's honestly iconic.
Old ones.
It's iconic.
I would say my least favorite out of like the big three: Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween. Nightmare on Elm Street's probably my least favorite.
They delve too far into comedy. That's for their later incarnations of the older movies.
That might be part of what it is, but another part is just like it doesn't really go. Does it go into detail why he's only able to kill you in your dreams, or why he's able to access your dreams?
Yeah, he's got better.
I don't remember. It's been a while since I've watched.
So here's the thing, for Krueger. Before he was eventually killed by the mob of angry parents who had their children slain by this freak.
Are we talking about OG Freddy Krueger or reboot Freddy Krueger?
OG Krueger.
Okay.
Yeah. Reboot Krueger is basically the same one. Either way, both of them had made a deal with a set of demons, so that like he would, not die as long as he did, their killings for him. long story short, made a deal with the devils before he died so that he could continue killing. And so basically, they gave him the ability to invade other people's dreams and murder them while they sleep. That was basically how they enacted their pact with them.
The weird thing is, he went after kids because what was it?
He
Apparently,
went after
kids.
the kids from the school he worked at as a janitor.
No,
No, I'm talking about the
was
Dream
just a
Demon
sicko.
when he was.
He was a child pounder.
No, yeah, I know, but I'm talking about when he was a Dream Demon. He went after kids simply because it was.
It was
What
revenge
yeah.
on the parents who killed him.
And then later incarnations, he started going after adults.
At the end of the reboot one, spoilers, they kill him, but at the end, his hand comes out of the mirror and kills the mother.
Yeah,
So they kill the parent. He kills a parent right
We don't
away,
talk about
so-
the reboot because apparently that got slammed by critics and fans alike, and they are not making that movie another one. They're
I don't
making.
know. I thought it was a good movie. I don't
A
see
lot
what
of people-
are complaining about.
A lot of people, fans and critics alike, said that it wasn't a good movie. I haven't watched the reboot.
I feel like some people are complaining probably because they went more down the child molester route, but that's what
No,
Freddy
from what I've-
Krueger was.
No, from what I've heard, I think the reboot took it out.
No. They
Oh, did
delved
they?
further into it. Like in the original, I think they only slightly hint at it, but in this one, he literally when he's in Nancy's dream, he starts trying to
Oh,
fondle her.
see the stories I've heard. It wasn't because of the whole child thing. It was because of. It was just like they were saying it was a poorly made movie. Like it was some parts were weird, some parts were
I'd have to disagree.
misshot, and I don't know. That's like I didn't hear anything about that.
I think it's just people with nostalgia goggles because this movie was not bad. It was more serious. It actually gave you the backstory and got to the point without needing to make several movies or anything.
Yeah, well, at the time, you got to remember Nightmare on Elm Street was a popular movie franchise, so of course they're gonna cash in on it.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is the people saying it was a terrible movie. I don't see what was terrible about it.
I haven't even watched it, but that's all I heard with the stories. But now I will agree with you though. There's the trio for Marvel, there's the trio for DC. In my eyes, there's the trio for horror movies. You like them or not, it's Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, and I will throw Michael Myers' name in the ring on the three most iconic movie franchises because a lot of the movies, more than not, did well. There was a couple movies that didn't do so well.
Something tells me Michael Myers is not your initial third.
No, I would put Michael Myers my initial because I can't think of anybody else. Because Chucky had this weird,
Chucky felt like every other movie was like a hit or miss.
Yeah.
Chucky
or something like that.
No, Child's Play had, in my opinion, 3 good films, and then after the director left off after the 3rd film, that's when it started going down.
Because I know a lot of people didn't like the later films, like The Curse of Chucky, The Cult of Chucky,
The Seed of Chucky.
The Seed of Chucky, which The Seed of Chucky leaned more towards comedy.
Yeah.
Which getting into that comedy gimmick that most horror movies go for nowadays, or not nowadays, but back then in the 2000s was for some reason had to be put in there.
The slapstick horror.
Yeah.
Is what you'd call it.
Yeah. But I would definitely put in, even though I'm not a big Michael Myers fan, I would definitely put Michael Myers in that trio of horror trinity.
I need to sit down and watch Friday the 13th original movies. I haven't seen jack shit of them. I've only seen one of the newer ones with the guy who plays Sam Winchester from Supernatural is in it.
Yup.
He's either supposed to be the main character or one of the main characters.
I would tell you right now, the weirdest one you will ever watch is Jason's Dead: The Final Friday, because it has that Jason isn't just a zombie anymore. He's a paranormal demon that can transfer between bodies. And now
he goes into other people's bodies somehow.
And if he gets into a bloodline relative of a Voorhees family bloodline, then he gets reborn as Jason Voorhees, and yeah, it's weird, but
yeah,
it was definitely that's my favorite one because it was out there.
The kill count of that, and I was like, what the fuck?
But yeah, Halloween Kills. I will actually, because when I watched the trailer, this isn't going to be your typical horror movie. This isn't going to be a comedy horror movie either. Apparently,
if you didn't watch the 2018 one, this is no slow walking.
Yeah, it starts.
Murderer. He is power walking to that fucking victim.
And
the kills are more gruesome. He killed a child in 2018, and he walked up to a baby crib. When I was in the movie theater watching that, as he walked in the baby crib and just stood there, everyone in the theater was gasping and freaking out because they didn't want to see him kill a baby.
Did he?
Nope, he just
Okay.
walked on. He looked at it, tilted his head, and then kind of walked out of the house.
Yeah,
Mind you, he's like 60, 70 years old at this point. He was locked away for 30
But-
years
And
after the first movie.
That's how kind of special Michael is compared to like the other.
Yeah, the
slasher
other
killers.
ones, they-
yeah.
Like the other ones came back through paranormal means. However, they imply that Michael himself isn't like paranormally like tough. He's just some sort of freak of nature who can take on anything.
He said he is not human.
Like, yeah, like they
Like-
say that he isn't human, but he.
I think they meant more of that. Like they won't dive into the paranormal with Michael Myers.
They can't get a
His-
reaction or anything out of him
Yeah.
from anything. He literally got, in the very first movie, he got shot 5 times with a revolver, and he walked out of that. But they retconned it in the 2018 one that they had captured him, but he still lived 5 bullets to the fucking chest from a revolver.
Yeah, I think it's more along the lines of it's not paranormal. But it's like what Greg said. He's just a freak of nature.
Yeah, and so I like what they're going to be doing in this film, which is apparently just gather every member of the surviving family and just hunt this fucker.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say
Did
next.
you see what it said his goal was?
Yeah,
To get back to the Myers house.
Yeah.
There's a family living there.
and Jamie Lee Curtis does reprise her role in this.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I saw
Laurie
that.
Strode is back.
The fact that Jamie Lee Curtis is still willing to play this character after so many years. Now, I've seen a couple Jamie Lynn Curtis movies. I've seen Freaky Friday, although that
Yeah,
wasn't really.
Freaky Friday.
That wasn't really.
I liked it.
It was okay for what it was. One of Lindsay Lohan's less weird
Oh, I didn't give
movies.
a fuck about Lindsay Lohan.
But the fact that Jamie Lee Curtis is still willing, like, hey, Jamie, you want to do another Halloween movie? Yeah, sure, screw it.
John, I will go one step further. The guy who played Myers in the first movie is reprising his role. Nick
Is he?
Castle.
Okay. Now,
One of the original, because there was 2 people who played him in the first movie, I think.
there's one thing I'm hoping for this movie, and I will go back and watch some Halloween movies in order to prepare for this. I hope the nostalgia does not hit this movie. Because if nostalgia does hit this movie, it's probably going to be a bad one.
What do you mean, nostalgia hitting?
Where if you look at a movie like, oh, this movie's great, it's going to be a tie-in to this movie, and this movie came out 50 years ago, and yeah, it wasn't that great. Like, was it the Friday the
just because
Yeah.
of nostalgia instead
the
of
Friday the
rebooting?
13th remake? A lot of people were excited about it because I think it was Rob Zombie who did it.
Hmm.
Did not do well.
He flopped with Halloween.
Yeah, I've heard Rob Zombie's a hit or miss when it comes to
I didn't
Halloween
even watch the
movies.
second Rob Zombie Halloween. I watched like half of the first one, and
I
I just
gotta-
didn't care for it.
I gotta watch the 2018 one to prepare
Yes.
for this one because I will be watching that. We will be giving our
Some of
thoughts
the
on that.
kills are way gorier than they've ever been. That's what I love about this one. Is he's actually more like gory with his kills. He's quick to the punch instead of standing forever and then slowly coming at you.
My favorite thing I've seen in this movie is somebody had asked Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis's characters, well, what are you going to do about Michael Myers? He's back. We're going to kill the bastard.
Yeah, we're
Simple
gonna
as
find
that.
him.
We're going to kill him.
We're gonna find him and we're gonna kill him. And
Yeah,
she's
pretty
got
much.
got the trademark knife in her hand.
I would like to see how they do it because many of others have tried to kill this bastard.
They literally locked him in a house and tried to burn him to death.
Yeah, which that was in
The
the trailer.
fire department saved him, and what does he do? He murders every one of them just because
They were in his way.
So yeah, we're
they weren't
gonna
even in his way. They were around.
we're gonna get more into that when the movie comes out because I'll watch it. If you two want to watch it,
Go off on like a 20-minute tangent.
that's fine. We'll give our thoughts on it. We'll give our Halloween movie review. Because I'm interested to sit down and see what it brings to the table as far as horror movies. Because lately, in my eyes, horror movies have been kind of lackluster lately.
just a little bit.
Because I will admit I was afraid to watch It 1 and 2 because I do have this thing with clowns. But
It wasn't bad.
no, it wasn't. It wasn't as
No.
scary as I thought it was gonna be.
I mean, the ending of the second one was sort of
Weird.
not weird.
To me, it was weird.
The climax of the second it could have been better, but I definitely do enjoy the modern it. Not
Oh
the
yeah,
actual
it's not
miniseries.
that I didn't enjoy it. It's just it's not. It seemed like it tried to play too hard on the psychological horror
Yeah.
Mm.
when the original was really supposed to be a monster horror because it was this alien-like being that can transform into anything that you fear.
Yeah,
and come after you.
transforms into your biggest fears, but it mostly takes the form of a clown.
But I will admit what I mean by the ending was weird is I don't mean the climax where they finally fought it. I meant where, mind you, the guy who plays Bill is amazing in the live action. He also played Charles Xavier in X-Men First Class, and he played in Wanted, and he was the lead in Wanted. He was amazing. I love him. I hope he gets more roles. I hope he can get some roles with the MCU as Charles Xavier. But what I meant by the ending was weird was when Bill's sitting in his car and he's reading that note that the black guy left him.
Mm-hmm.
And
he was the only one leaving the town or something.
Yeah,
like that.
well, no, the rest of them were leaving the town.
No, he's the only one who stayed in town, right?
So, no, well, that was after the first movie.
Oh,
I'm talking about the end of the second one where everyone it's that everybody's leaving Derry, Maine. Everyone is leaving. So he was reading the letter. No, it wasn't him. It was the guy who committed suicide in the beginning.
One of the friends that committed suicide.
Yeah,
I can't remember which one of the kids it was.
Can't remember either.
Was that the one that kept getting hurt all the time?
No. It was, if I remember correctly, it was the one who was scared all the time.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but I do remember him from the original series that the summer that they had defeated it the first time, he got scared by a werewolf or a pharaoh that showed up
I think
at
so.
School during the summer after they had killed it the first time.
No, it was the one that got scared by the painting in the remake.
Oh.
It was that kid. It was that kid. And he had left a letter to everybody after his suicide because he didn't want to go back. He didn't want to fight it. I mean,
yeah.
But the way they're reading this letter off and the actor's voice comes over, and as the letter finishes, it kind of teases a chapter 3.
How?
It leaves it open to depiction it is still out there. Again, they've only stopped it for a little while.
Well, yeah, because didn't it say that needed everyone back?
Yeah.
So they could make a part 3 because one of them killed themselves, so it could never go away.
No, it legitimately was killed for real at the end of this film. But the ritual didn't work. They didn't have everyone, and
what was the ritual supposed to be?
Ritual of Zoo or something like that?
Okay, so the ritual itself, sorry, I'm mixing up my words here. The ritual was fake. Okay, it was never meant to kill it. It was supposed to bring people together to let go of their fears because it was a parasite that fed on people's fears and took the form of those fears to kill it. And only after exposing its deadlights could you manage to kill it. So the ritual apparently worked by getting individuals together and letting go of their fears, and also having a relic to be used to seal it away. But since the guy committed suicide, unfortunately, the ritual was never going to work.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pointless to bring that back up. But it was only after the remaining kids, now grown up, coming together, and after one of them has already been killed, because remember, someone also died during this climax.
Yeah.
After they were able to get together and finally own up not only to their fears, but to be brave at the face of fear, or it in this case, were they able to kill it.
It's just the way the guy was reading the letter, and it felt like, and if Greg, have you watched it recently? Because I don't know, I get this feeling that they wanted to leave a door open for chapter 3, but if it's dead, what are they fighting?
Okay, well, novel it is probably what you're thinking about. Now, the movie it's Pennywise. I'll just call it.
Yeah, about to say.
Okay, the movie Pennywise were killed in both of their respective films, but the thing about the Pennywise, the character, is that Stephen King, after the novel came out, said, or rather in the books, that Pennywise would come to life every 27 years or so to attack the people of Derry. And sure enough, 27 years passed, and in one of Stephen King's books, Pennywise is mentioned. He's also mentioned in the Dark Tower series and stuff like that. So the novel Pennywise is still very much alive.
Isn't like the real name Pennywise, like he's an interdimensional demon.
Yes.
Or an interdimensional being who feeds off of fear. Pennywise isn't his true form.
Children. But he realized the reason why he went after the adult ones wasn't it because their fears were stronger than children or some shit.
It showed that they were still scared of him. So their fears were still potent.
Let me look this up quickly, but if I remember correctly, it's the character Pennywise in the novels. He took the form of a clown because he could, but it's like how can I explain this? He's sort of like an eldritch being. Like the turtle. Yes, there's a turtle in the novels.
A god turtle.
Yeah, a god turtle. Compares it to that of like a spider. Okay? And the spider is, well...
Aren't they like interlocked? Like they will always be fighting? Because like they're always at war with each other?
Yes. The turtle is supposed to represent good, and Pennywise is meant to represent evil, but like, in short, Pennywise is supposed to be like, basically, a demon. That... wants to eat everything.
Man's hungry.
Yeah.
He's a buffet. He's John Panette, man.
Get out of the line. If you grow old, get out of the line. All right, well, moving on. We're going to talk some video game news. Battlefield 2042 delayed by a month. Now, this is like the third or fourth game in a row that has been delayed that has like a AAA title.
Did they give a reason or no?
I think they just want a little bit more time to polish it because Battlefield is like I don't want to compare it to Call of Duty because they do things differently.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a shooter, so it's a lot like Call of Duty, but the other mechanics are different.
Do you know the other night they had the 12v12 on Nuketown? Mm-hmm. I think it was Battlefield 4. They introduced 20v20, but it wasn't on a small map. It was on a giant map.
Oh yeah, like a giant Battlefield sort of map.
Yeah, so Battlefield 2042 was delayed by a month because they want to finish polishing things up, making sure everything is ready to go on its release day. So
if they need more time to make sure it's a good game, I say give it.
But here's the thing: this is like I'm not saying it's a bad thing that games are getting delayed. That means they're more polished. That means they'll come out when they're ready, and they're not forcing anything out the door that needs to be fixed later. The whole
Sonic
release, for the whole release now, fix later mentality that's slowly going away, and I'm enjoying that mentality is going away. But Battlefield 2042, with it being delayed, like so many other AAA games we've heard of in the past couple months being delayed. Horizon Forbidden West got delayed till next year. I think, what was the other one? I can't remember, but there was. Oh, the WWE and AEW games got pushed back to next year. Horizon Forbidden West got pushed back to next year, and there was one more. But with all these games getting pushed back a year, I think the whole release it now, fix it later mentality is gone because a lot of the time they wouldn't fix it later. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, Call of Duty, they would release the game half-assed and instead of
WWE game.
Yep, and instead of patching it and trying to work on it until the next release, or they would wait a year. 2K learned from that. Yeah. WWE 2K20 was horrendous and a horrendous mess. So they learned from that by releasing WWE 2K Battlegrounds, and then when they saw Battlegrounds didn't do any good, they said, all right, we're going to take a step back for a couple years.
I will say they tried something different. I will respect them for it. They're not just doing the same thing every year. But I feel like it was just a weird direction.
Yeah, going from a wrestling simulator, which is what I want.
Yeah.
Because I don't want, people are complaining because it's a wrestling simulator. No, I'm complaining that we're getting football, NBA, and baseball simulator games. I don't want them when I can actually go out and play them.
I want to go out and wrestle.
No, it's dangerous.
A lot more practice and shit.
And it's dangerous.
Yes.
But I'm glad they delayed it because I'm glad this is starting the whole, like I said, the whole release it now, fix it later mentality is going because a lot of times they don't release it now. But we're gonna go right on to the Call of Duty news since I brought that up. Call of Duty V Beta is already reporting cheaters, and the
Yep.
beta's only been out for a couple days.
They don't have any. I'm pretty sure they said there's no cheat detection or cheat prevention in the beta.
And now you would think they would in a beta of a AAA game that's supposed to be coming out.
I figured out the name of that game I told you that has like 7 developers on it. Splitgate.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That game has 7 or just a very, very small number of developers. But if enough people, or if like say there was a streamer that had a Splitgate developer watching them because they were promoting their game, and they found a hacker, they reported the hacker. It was immediately like the developer typed in the chat, was like, "Well, I will get rid of that right now."
I've heard Splitgate's
So if
been
you
doing.
report them enough, and they actually check back the footage. There's 7 of them. They actually watch the footage and shit.
No,
They actually get rid of people. So if you like report someone just because you don't like them, they're not going to get rid of them. But if they see the footage that they're actually cheating, yes, they're gone. That's what Activision needs to learn. They have an entire group of people.
and it's not just Activision, because I played Modern Warfare online multiplayer, and I played Black Ops Cold War online multiplayer. Multiplayer on Call of Duty Modern Warfare for PS4 is nearly not as bad, nearly not as buggy as Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. You see a lot more bullshit in Cold War because they're treating that game as the massive multiplayer when they're still feeding both games. Now, them releasing Call of Duty Vanguard right now, I think, is a bad move. I think Activision, especially everything with going on with Activision Blizzard, I think Activision should just take a step back and say, guys, Vanguard will be the last Call of Duty game for a while. We're going to take a step back.
Personally,
because apparently, like even now, Call of Duty Vanguard is just going back to World War II.
Yeah. I don't know why they didn't do like a World War I game or.
I mean, like how many more? Like I understand people are buying it, but how many more war games can you get that are keep getting traction like this? Because they're just going back and doing the same thing. I get it; they're telling different stories.
Honestly,
but
I think I liked what Black Ops 2 did a little bit more, where they went a little bit in the future, not far, but just a little bit into the future.
Was it modern?
No,
I thought it was modern
futuristic. It was futuristic, but modern enough.
Oh, that's what I'm trying to say.
Black Ops 3 was like super futuristic. Black Ops 4 was the same way, and I didn't care for those. Infinity Ward was like extremely futuristic. I didn't care for that much.
Didn't they try to do the whole like when Fortnite first came out and Black Ops 4 first came out? Didn't they try to implement a battle royale system?
Blackout.
And nobody played it.
I think people played it, but it was a lot worse than what Warzone is.
Oh, really?
I think so. I don't know. I don't care for battle royales. Even like PUBG is my favorite one, but I don't even play PUBG.
Yeah.
I just don't care for battle royale. Because there's always that one person that stays up 8 hours a day playing that game.
But now, what the funny part is, Call of Duty V or Call of Duty Vanguard is also now getting mixed reviews. Because I watched the beta is. The beta is. They're giving the beta mixed reviews.
Well, they're not final reviews. Never mind. Carry on.
They're not giving full reviews, but a lot of people that are playing it saying
based on the beta.
Yeah, based on the beta, a lot of people are saying it's stale. It's the same. It feels the same way as Black Ops Cold War because it's based in World War II, and the interface where you see your weapons, your ammo is literally the same thing for Modern Warfare. So it looks like to me that they're reusing assets from old games.
Well, it's the beta. They haven't probably had the time to make the unique HUDs yet.
You know, I understand that, but you really expect them to make changes at this point?
They at least make unique HUDs.
Yes and no.
The HUDs in every Call of Duty has at least had something unique about it that has not looked anything like the previous.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I feel like definitely Activision should take a step back from Call of Duty for a little while.
It's their cash cow.
Unfortunately, no, they're not. I mean, they can because they have other cash cows they can work on.
Yeah, but when there's potential money to be made, they will never do that.
And that's what kind of sucks in my eyes because they don't want to take a step back because of the money, but they refuse to fix the problems that are with the game. But going on, THQ Nordic had their 10th anniversary, and they live streamed a special event where they announced multiple games. But the two biggest ones I want to talk about is the new SpongeBob game they're coming out with, SpongeBob the Cosmic Shake, which is I think it's delving into time travel territory.
Dimension travel.
Oh, dimension travel. Okay.
Have you seen the trailer?
No.
It's literally the Super Bowl theme.
Okay, I did hear that was making waves
Sweet
again.
Victory.
Yeah.
But I thought that was for Nickelodeon All Stars.
I did too at first.
Like-
Oh, speaking of All Stars, yeah, they have. We'll get back to the new SpongeBob game in a second, but apparently they did announce that DLC for the game will be a thing.
Oh, really?
Sweet.
Yeah. Apparently, the hype has been real for All Star Brawl.
There
So-
was a Q&A with one of the game directors on there, and I thought this was a good question. Somebody had asked him, "Well, how did you guys decide the characters to put in there?" With it being Nicktoons, there's honestly there's a lot of
There's a
iconic
plethora of
characters
you
that they
do.
can put in. And then he goes, "Well, how'd you choose the characters?" He come right out and goes, "Everybody had a say in it. We heard who people in our development area wanted to see in it. We picked the ones that we could probably implement the easiest, and it wouldn't be hard to make, so we could still make this game good and fun." Everybody had at least a say in who they wanted to see in there, and apparently the ones we are seeing in there now is the ones people from the development team wanted to see in there. I love that idea.
That is really cool.
That is an awesome idea. It lets people let their voices be heard. Your character may not be in the game, but that doesn't needlessly to say there's no DLC plan for it.
Mhm.
Like, say, if Danny Phantom wasn't in the starting roster, which he is,
Yeah.
because, again, he's one of the, in my opinion, he's one of the most iconic characters on Nickelodeon. If he wasn't in the starting lineup, their DLC plan, he could be on a DLC roster. He could be this, he could be that. This Nicktoons games and the developers working on this has a chance to do something that Nintendo doesn't. And that's listen to the fans or listen to the different people working on it. Because everybody and their mother wanted Waluigi in Smash Brothers.
Oh yeah.
What did Nintendo do?
Some people think Sakurai might actually do it as Waluigi. I don't think he's gonna do it.
I don't think he's going to do it. If
Can you
Nicktoons...
imagine if he actually managed to do that after making Waluigi a trophy? When they showed the trailer for the Smash Bros. Showing that you could destroy trophies, it was Waluigi. So it was literally a middle finger to all the fans showing, hey, look, now you can destroy trophies. And look, Waluigi's here. That means he's not a character. Bah, 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 bah. Fuck you, Purple.
I think...
I'm gonna say this now though, as a quick aside. If Waluigi is the final
I would
character
love
for
it if
Smash
he was the
Ultimate,
final one.
perfect game.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm rooting for Sora to get in, but I know they never will because
Yeah,
Disney-
Disney
Because
doesn't want
Disney
to...
allow-
wants all of the profits of the game if Sora's in the game.
Yeah. But here's hoping that Waluigi is the last character. Because apparently this could be the final Smash game. I just want it to be Waluigi. I don't
think-
care if he's an Echo Fighter. I just want Waluigi.
I would love to have him as a character.
How would he be an Echo Fighter, though? Who would he be an Echo of?
Like your version of Luigi, of course.
Wah! And throws a
Why would he
purple
have a
fireball.
vacuum?
No, instead of a vacuum, it's just a shotgun.
What if he's...
Uh-oh.
Nah, tennis racket. He basically
Oh, yeah,
punts
he's-
his ball.
He's gotta be a unique... He's gotta have his own unique...
He does a
mindset.
weird dance. All of a sudden, he pats him with a
There's
racket.
no way they're gonna make him just an Echo Fighter if he ever is the character.
But no, I think Waluigi is the fighter we deserve. Waluigi is the fighter we need.
Waluigi's the fighter we've wanted since Brawl.
I don't know why they haven't put him in there. Like, if everybody wants him,
Like, the moment we saw him as a trophy in Brawl, everybody wanted him as a playable fighter. When they saw Little Mac was in Smash 4, they were like, we could get Waluigi as DLC, and then it never happened.
and now, especially now, with them doing one more DLC character, I hope they don't do another anime sword fighter. I
Yeah,
hope
that's
they
one
don't.
thing I don't want. I would be okay with another Pokemon. I know nobody else would, but being a Pokemon
I would
fan,
love-
I would love another Pokemon. I
I
don't
would
want
love to
another
see
anime
one.
sword fighter. I don't want another I don't want another third-party character because we've done so many third-party. I want to see another roster character.
And let's be honest, what other third-party characters could they do? Because Sony keeps a tight hand.
Sora, Crash Bandicoot.
Sora will
like
not.
these are ones
No.
people were talking about.
Oh yeah, people were talking.
Sora, Crash Bandicoot, Rayman, Master Chief for some reason, Tracer because at one point it was speculated someone from Overwatch is going to be in the roster.
Third-party characters for me, top picks would have either been Sora, Crash Bandicoot, or Goku.
And you know what
So
sucks?
just for the oddness of having
And
them in
you know,
there.
and you know what's funny, Greg? I could see Goku being in there before Crash and before Sora. That's the sad part.
But
I
here's,
don't know. I see
okay,
Crash being the highest candidate.
look,
Sony keeps a tight hand on their mascots.
I will be disappointed if Waluigi isn't the final character for Ultimate, but I'm not
Oh,
going to
same
get
here.
too disappointed.
I was extremely shocked that they went Kazuya.
Yeah,
That's another one I don't want. I don't want another fighter character, like another fighting game character. We've got like 4 or 5. We're good.
Yeah.
I honestly,
they're all good characters too.
I like your idea of going with another Pokemon. I don't
like
have an idea of who, but
someone to promote either Legends Arceus or to promote fucking Unite even.
But SpongeBob the Cosmic Shake. I have not seen the trailer yet, but if it's delving into multiverse travel, which is weird because SpongeBob hasn't delved into that yet.
No, but
He did
technically
time
there are
travel.
new
Yeah,
mobile-
time travel.
Around this time for the Cosmic Shake was announced. I don't know if you guys have seen the ads for it, but there's a new mobile game for SpongeBob coming out that also deals with dimension travel. So this is why I'm believing Cosmic Shake is going to be the same thing. Now, from what the trailer revealed, it looks like it's going to be another platformer.
Which is, I think SpongeBob works best as a
It feels like
platformer.
SpongeBob video games should be a platform.
There was Battle for Bikini Bottom, which at its base was a platformer. Yes, there was enemies to hit, there was stuff you can do, but at its base, it was a platformer. I have SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated on my PS4. And that is, even the remake is a good game. I still remember the original, but the remake is still a good game. But I think you can't go anywhere else but a platformer unless it's SpongeBob teaming up with other characters like the Dungeon Crawler of Nicktoons Unite, which I think was Nicktoons' answer to Marvel's Ultimate Alliance. But yeah, I can't wait for SpongeBob Cosmic Shake. I'll have to watch the trailer, but
Yeah.
Now the second game that was announced I want to cover because it's such a weird game and it got a remake a couple years ago. Destroy All Humans 1 came out a couple years ago. And the reviews for that were great. I played it. It was great. I had no problems with it. They didn't really change too much from the original game.
They did make a remaster of it.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. Is the one where they put it on PS4. And
Yeah.
Destroy All Humans 2 is also getting that same treatment. They're remaking the game and they're releasing it. So I can't wait. Destroy All Humans 2. I didn't see a release date for that, but Destroy All Humans 2 will be coming out. Now, I unfortunately have to bring this up. I don't want to because it's a sad story in my eyes. God of War 2 will be the end of the Norse story for Kratos.
All right.
I don't want that to be the case. I was sad when I heard it, but the game director himself has come right out and said the reason why it's only 2 and done with this one is because the first one took so long and the second one is taking so long because God of War 2 was announced a couple years ago. And they feel like if they went anymore, they don't want to spread the story out and make people wait for an ending. So they're going to try and wrap everything up in this second game, which if you guys played, like I know Greg has, you haven't.
No, I haven't.
I have.
I watched my cousin play. I think it was God of War 3.
And the Norse story is great. I love the fact that they're bringing in the rest of the Norse pantheon in this. We haven't seen it. I'm pretty sure there was releases, but there are scans released of Thor, and that's a lot of people got hot about that because he's big. I'm like,
he's not gonna be whoever it is that plays.
Yeah, it's not gonna be Chris Hemsworth. The game developers themselves have gone on record and said, no, we didn't go. He's not gonna be Chris Hemsworth Thor. It's not gonna be the MCU Thor.
No.
They actually went back, did their research, dived deep into Norse mythology, and saw what Thor was, and that's their depiction of Thor. And even a lot of people on the internet are saying, Thor wasn't a six-pack and abs. All he did was fight and eat and drink, and that's all he did. So I'm happy to see that the game developers are taking time to do their research when it comes to these games, and that's why I love these time period games because a lot of people do their research. They want to get it right. They want to make a good game out of this. They want to make sure nothing is misconstrued.
They don't just want every character to look attractive. They want every character to look accurate.
But I can't wait for it. I'm sad that it's going to end.
Did you beat the one that came out before?
I actually started New Game Plus mode, which gives you an extra tab of armor, which is a new set, like a new legend, it goes epic, rare, legendary, a new status set of armors that you can unlock going through New Game Plus mode. So I'm currently in the works of beating that because I'm getting that prepared for this second game, because this game, I love the fact that when it was announced, I was hyped for it. I wasn't really hyped for the originals. I was hyped for this one because I love Norse mythology. I know the story of Kratos. That's why I was able to jump right in, because I just kind of watched playthroughs and people discussing the story of Kratos. So I went there. The fact that it is the end of the Norse story, which is sad.
It makes you wonder, where's it going to go next?
If they even go anywhere next.
I don't know.
Hold on.
Yeah, just a little bit of technical difficulties.
Okay. But yeah, I can't stress it enough that I love the Norse games. I couldn't get into the Greek games as much. I feel like there's more to this version of the game than there is the Norse or the Greek version of the game. But yeah, what'd you have to say, Greg?
Personally speaking, I don't know if they'll continue the series after this one. They could do it. Okay, they could bring out a third Pantheon and just round it all up. But in my opinion, if they're rushing to get this game done and finish the Norse arc or era, I guess, depending on what you want to call these sets of two games, you could either have the case being where Kratos lives and fights a new Pantheon, or he's killed by his son and the prophecy is fulfilled.
What's that prophecy?
In the God of War games, it is stated. In the God of War game, it is stated that a prophecy will come to pass where, like the rest of the pantheons, the children will kill the father, and unfortunately, Atreus will kill Kratos, and the prophecy will just keep going.
And the whole point of the first game was to prevent this prophecy, essentially. And they kind of succeed at stopping it somewhat. Atreus is still very, very likely to turn into
the traditional Loki,
and it will come down to Kratos having to go up against Loki. And I forgot, because I haven't played I haven't played this God of War. I do know what happens, but I haven't read about it in years. Apparently, it will come to a point where Loki will go up against Kratos, and Loki will kill Kratos. However, because Kratos has defied the fates before when he killed his own pantheon, Kratos has very much the same sort of
to kill his
same destiny to kill his son. And of course, Atreus is revealed to be Loki. And Kratos has already lost two families already because of the whims of the gods. And now, because of some prophecy, he's going to have to kill his son. Okay?
Unless they find a way around it, but I can't see that happening.
I don't see his son wanting to kill his dad.
Yeah, he doesn't want to, but apparently prophecy is going to force him to do it.
The prophecy is setting up something that will probably drive because in the God of War games, Atreus and Kratos are close.
Yeah,
they are father and son.
I don't see him doing anything.
Atreus is literally Kratos' second chance. Or third chance.
And he does an immaculate job. You feel the weight.
Second family. I just knew the reason why he's so pale and white is that's the ashes of his first family.
Yeah, it is. No, you're right. You're absolutely
right. Second family.
His wife died. I forgot how they did. Was it just because of old age she died, or how did his second wife die?
So I know that the first family was killed.
Yeah.
Because Kratos defied the God of War, and because of that, the God of War chose Kratos to be his champion, and then as punishment for defying him, the God of War killed Kratos' family, and then the ashes were permanently,
bonded to
his body with the ashes of his dead family. Now I could be wrong about the second family, but I do know that in the case of Atreus' mother, she was killed. She did die.
I thought she said she was sick or something.
She either died of illness or she was killed. I I don't remember. I really do need to play these games
Yeah.
more. But when you're busy with a job, you don't have that much free time
Yeah.
anymore.
But it's nice. I think this incarnation of Kratos, where he has that chance to be a second dad. He has that gruff, like grizzled veteran voice in his tone, where he's seen everything, but he doesn't want his son to really go through that unprepared like he did, to where he's just killing everybody or he's slaying everybody without question. He wants to prepare his son to live a peaceful life to where he can at least defend himself.
To survive.
Yeah, to survive, because this is not modern era. This is old Norse pantheon age of gods and demons. So the fact that Kratos really settled into his father role was so nice. It was so refreshing to see that in almost every game. You see, son, we don't kill a man that is weak. We leave him alone. If he wants to come back and fight again, he will fight again. But we do not kill a man that is weak, which I absolutely love that they put that in there.
That's cool.
It showed. It showed Kratos' character coming full circle. Like, I've had my rage. My rage destroyed me and the world. So, but yeah, that's it for the God of War story. But now let's get into the real meat of the bones here. I came across this story by complete accident. I didn't realize that Activision Blizzard is in some hot shit right now. They are in the deepest well of diarrhea poop with corn pieces in there.
Well, why'd you have to? Why?
I went there.
Man.
I went there.
Why?
Because I had to. I felt like I had to. Yeah, it's Activision is being sued again for coerced and intimidating behavior. Now, with everything that's come out about Activision, at some point, when does people step back and step away from Activision Blizzard?
I don't know, but I know there was like either a day or a week straight that people boycotted playing like Overwatch or Call of Duty. Like there was a big group of people that just chose not to play them because of all this stuff happening.
Yeah,
right
and
now. Of course, it probably wasn't enough people to
hurt their wallet.
Make any sort of real problem, but
at
it was
some
enough
point,
to notice.
Yeah, at some point you have to. I know there was a no stream day on Twitch because of it, and at some
I think
point
that was something against Twitch itself.
Yeah, that's right. Twitch is in some kind of hot water too.
Yeah,
a lot of these.
I just know it's something to do with hate raids.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because there's a couple thousands of these people making hate bots and shit, just attacking random people for no reason. And Twitch wasn't doing anything about it until somebody said something. They still didn't do anything about it, so Twitch kind of backed off, or the people in the community kind of had to back off for a day and just say, hey, we're not going to stream on Twitch until you get this fixed. But Activision Blizzard, I should say, Activision Blizzard lost numerous people with these allegations and these suits.
On top of that, the game Overwatch, the character Jesse McCree's name is getting changed because he's named after an actual developer from Blizzard who I guess played some part in all these problems.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're changing the name to. People want it to be Matt Mercer, the voice actor for McCree.
That kind of fits.
Matt Mercer. It sounds like a cowboy
to
me.
Yeah. I would say
I think
Jonah
it's
Hex,
Mercer.
but they would get in all sorts of legal trouble with DC. But I think it's to the point where people need to, and we see the employees are doing it. Employees are starting to speak up and say what's going on with the company, and nobody's doing anything about it until now.
Yeah.
So there's people noticing, but I think
It sucks that it's taking this long, but at least something's happening.
yeah, and I think they're still in court over everything because a lot of people came forward about the Cosby Suite that they were pushing. Oh, you don't know about that?
No.
There was a lot of higher ups in Activision Blizzard that would make this joke about a hotel room or a room that they would have in the game developer offices that they would call the Cosby Suite, where they would invite a bunch of the female coworkers and yeah. And this was in recent years too. Like this was right after the whole Bill Cosby scandal started.
I heard he got released because he had an unfair trial or something.
Yeah, I heard he got released due to somebody thinking it was an unfair trial when there was numerous people coming forward. Like there was like 72 women coming forward Like, if there's that much evidence against the guy, how is it an unfair trial? I just don't understand that.
Is it actual evidence, or is it people trying to get
that too? And that's when we get into the whole situation
never know until
of
we hear both sides.
yeah, and of course,
But sadly, in this day and age, not many people want both
and
sides.
that does kind of go into this other topic before we get into Greg's topic. There was a documentary on a show called Dark Side of the Ring, which delves deep into the dark behind the scenes of professional wrestling. And the latest episode, which is causing a lot of stir up within WWE and a lot of stir up within the realms of the professional wrestling business. And the documentary was on the plane ride from hell back in 2002 or 2003. And basically, they had an overseas tour, and Vince McMahon and WWE had chartered a private jet for some of the wrestlers, where they wouldn't have to worry; they could fly comfortably, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently, things got out of hand on that flight. Ric Flair reportedly was naked, and he put on one of his robes that he wears to the ring. Walks out to where all the wrestlers were sitting, throws his robe open, starts doing the helicopter deck. Yeah, and allegations and darkness like of these people opened up where he kind of cornered a flight attendant, and he put his it's gonna get he did something bad, but it's then there was a ponytail that was cut off. X-Pac, who got sick of the ribbing and the pranking, or the backstage tumult with him and who was it? Can't remember his name, but he had this trademark ponytail. What does X-Pac do? Because he got sick of everything, he walks behind, cuts it right off, throws it. Kurt Hennings, who he may rest in peace, he was Mr. Perfect, played a prank on Brock Lesnar where he sprayed shaving cream on the guy's head and then he smacked it, which started a fight between those two. And the fighting got so bad where they were hitting against the emergency exit door of the plane. And these are big guys, so they could eventually pop it open.
Mm-hmm.
Dustin Rhodes, who was known as Goldust in WWE and now is just Dustin Rhodes in AEW, got so drunk and intoxicated he was singing a random love song over the intercom, which that's the least worst things.
Oh yeah, the least of things.
Scott Hall had passed out on the flight because of his substance abuse, and yeah, it was. If you guys haven't seen it, go watch it. It's definitely a really weird one, but you hear all these words coming out, and you hear Tommy Dreamer actually got suspended from TNA Wrestling for what he said in the documentary. And I don't know what line it was. All I heard was he got suspended because of his lines in the documentary. So I went back and watched it, and the only thing I could think of was when he said, you're making a big thing out of a little thing or something like that. I have to rewatch it. I don't want to misconstrue any points here. But yeah, WWE and these older wrestlers some of them more than others are actually in hot water. Scott Hall, I think, has not gotten any repercussions from. Well, he got fired because of his substance abuse back then, but he's better now. I heard he's a real decent guy to be around, actually. But I heard the one that's been catching a lot of flack lately is because of Ric Flair, because these stories are starting to come back up, and everyone's starting to go against Ric Flair now. And yeah,
what's that going to mean for his daughter?
I don't know. That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried.
I
may not
never cared for her, but
yeah,
I don't think she should be getting heat just because of her dad.
The child should not pay for the sins of the father.
Mm-hmm.
And I just hope this doesn't sour WWE on Charlotte Flair. I hope she doesn't lose her wrestling career over this. I may not like her in-ring style. I may not like her in-ring career, but I hope she doesn't pay for it by losing it.
Yeah.
It's a real sad story on some of these wrestlers that you would think the world of. Like, I knew Ric Flair was flamboyant, but I didn't think, anything like this would happen. And what makes it even worse is Vince was sitting in the plane. I don't know if the plane was just cut off, so he didn't really know. And then JR, Jim Ross, was on the plane. Apparently, he was head of talent relations at that time, or coach, or whatever you were calling it. They would call him.
Yeah.
He was basically tried to stop a lot of the things from going on, but he can't be anywhere at once. So the story broke before they even landed. Immediately, the plane landed. The story broke. Scott Hall got fired. Kurt Hennig got fired. A lot of these guys got fired. Ric Flair did not get fired for the stuff he pulled.
You would think he would be the one to get fired out of all.
Here's the thing. I think the reason why they didn't fire him was because as he landed, they didn't have the internet we have today, where everything is just instant, where we can get our hands on any story, anytime, any day. Ric Flair was still prominently a household name. He just recently returned to the WWE. He in storyline wise, he is partnered to Vince McMahon, running both shows. So I guess that's why he couldn't get fired, because they don't want to hurt the storyline.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I hope this doesn't delve into shit too bad for people. Like I said, Scott Hall hasn't gotten any worse repercussions from it lately due to the documentary being released. But yeah, Greg, you had a couple points yourself.
So, I honestly no at this point.
Oh, I thought you had one more thing.
I think the only thing I want to mention was what I talked about earlier with the new executive being hired on.
Yeah.
So I looked into it, and she has been around since the development of the first Iron Man film.
That's not bad. Okay, then she knows what's going on.
She's had history in it. I haven't looked too much into the controversy surrounding her. The article that I was reading up on just says that, with all these female superheroes and stuff like that, politically correct and whatnot, X-Men seems to be a bit outdated. But her goal is, from what the article said, she just wants to focus more on more bringing more talent into the MCU, more animation, stuff like that. She apparently wants more singing in the MCU.
No,
we don't need Disney. We don't need Disney. Fucking
I hope Kevin Feige kind of checks her at the door with that one.
I don't know,
because
I get what they're saying. They want to do more not X-Men related Marvel heroes. They want to do maybe some lesser known ones or something.
Well, no. The fact is that they do bring X-Men into the universe. They don't want to call them the X-Men. They want to be politically correct. Now, mind you, the argument of the whole X-Men name.
Well, they probably won't bring in the X-Men here. She was just saying that she thinks that the idea of the name X-Men is outdated.
But that's been a conversation as old as time. That's like a conversation of who's going to win, Batman or Goku. That's the same conversation that people have been having for years. Is the name outdated? Does the name have to be politically correct? And you hear all this argument, and a lot of not are sticking up for the fact that no, you don't need to change the name.
The sole reason why I don't want the name to change is just, what could you make it? It's been so iconic. You think X-Men, you know what you're talking about. If they change the name, so many people are going to be confused.
Yeah, it is.
And I doubt they'll find anything that sounds even remotely close to as good.
Because I heard one of the things that they were toying around with the comics was X-People.
No.
But X-People doesn't have the same ring as...
it doesn't.
Professor Xavier in the comics used to say, "To me, my X-Men."
Yeah.
And it rolled right off the tongue when you read it. So I think changing the name, if they do bring it in the MCU, is a bad idea. I did hear one funny story. It was a rumor years ago, and I kind of hope they don't follow through on it because it'd be funny. I will disagree partially on the singing part real quick. There is one movie you can get away with singing in a Marvel movie, and you can tell me I'm wrong all you want. Deadpool. For the idea I heard for the third movie, it was going to be a buddy road trip between him and Cable. You can definitely have a singing moment or two in Deadpool 3.
All the singing moments are just him attempting to sing, getting cut off every couple seconds.
Or he finally gets one through, and Cable is just sitting there going,
when the whole thing ends, how much did you spend? The entire budget. The what?
But that's the big climax of the movie where he's beating up random guys.
Remember what they did at the end where they were like, they were over budget, so they didn't have any of the guns that they brought.
That's where they could bring that joke back. That's where the budget to. Wait, how did you get budget to something that hasn't even happened yet?
It's 2 movies late, but hey, we got it.
No, he holds up the time travel watch from Deadpool 3. He goes, time travel. I got one more topic. It's not a news story. It's more of a topic because I want to get this out there. We are right now sitting in the midst of a lot of eras, whether it be wrestling between WWE and AEW, whether it being comic books with the numerous good stories that are coming out right now, or whether it being anime or video games or movies. we're sitting in the middle of a renaissance of sorts.
Yeah, it does
You-
seem
you-
like a
you- you
lot
can
of things
say.
are going Renaissance.
And it's not your typical renaissance like we read about in school. It's a new age renaissance where we have these movies that are coming to fruition that we've always wanted to see. It's these games that are coming to fruition that we always wanted to play, and a lot of things are changing now.
Even Pokemon Legends Arceus, that's like medieval
Yeah,
Renaissance era.
and
almost.
it's not just that; it's the fact they're changing up the game style. And one of the big Renaissance things that really the modern era Renaissance I want to talk about right now is the anime Renaissance that's going on. Because not only do we have the new animes that are out, like Fire Force, your Black Clovers, your hold on, I'll get to that.
Okay.
It's Black Clover, Fire Force,
My Hero.
and a lot of these other new gen animes. Then also it's adding to the renaissance of either the continuation of the story or a reboot of the story, where you get the continuation of Bleach, of Boruto or Naruto through Boruto, and then you get One Piece still going strong. Then you get Dragon Ball Super, and that's Dragon Ball, obviously one of the biggest animes of all time.
And then isn't Shaman King?
Shaman King got
Or
rebooted.
Is it continued or?
I don't know yet. I haven't watched it.
The Shaman King reboot is literally just a reboot.
It's just a one season.
At the moment.
That's what I thought he was asking was.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if this was like supposed to be something to try to bring back the series.
No,
like
it's a
continue the
reboot.
Story or
Full blown
story.
reboot. But I heard it was staying closer to the manga this time around.
Yeah, it's getting the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood treatment.
And it's nice
Can
to
we-
see.
Can we get a Zatch Bell reboot, please?
This is like,
I would want one. I'm not gonna lie.
I miss Zatch Bell, man.
Actually, no. You know what you do? You don't make it a reboot. You make it a continuation.
Dude, I don't even remember how it ended.
I don't remember how did it end? Did it end or did it get canceled?
You're asking the wrong guy. This is why I'm asking for a reboot.
But if it is a continuation, we'll say Zatch wins. He becomes king of the Momoto world. Years later, there's another tournament. But it doesn't follow Zatch and Kyo. Zatch and Kyo's son.
Why would
Whoa.
Zatch and Kyo have a son together?
No, you
You
moron.
just said Zatch and Kyo.
Instead of following Zatch and Kyo, it would follow Zatch and Kyo's. I just realized what I said. It
Yeah.
would follow Kyo's
Yeah, there we
son
go.
with Zatch.
There you go. There you go, buddy.
Shut up.
Are they gonna give him the Pikachu black and white treatment where he just suddenly forgets all his attacks and is weak again?
No, God, no. There ain't no. Well, actually, he has to because
That's
it's
what I'm
not
saying.
Kyo. It's Kyo's son that's taking the spell book.
yep.
Yeah, because Kyo's son will be on it.
So it's not that. So then you could bring Zatch in as a mentor. Like you still have that goofy persona, but you can bring Zatch in as that mentor-esque role throughout the Momoto tournament.
Yeah.
So because then
I
Zatch
feel
is
like if they do Kyo's son, they should either have Momoto with a fighting style similar to Zatch or just a new one in general.
Zatch had no fighting style.
Well, what I mean is like not similar spells or anything to Zatch.
I think if you're gonna do a Zatch Bell continuation, you would have to have the lightning powers.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
feel like it could be done with different powers.
I don't know. I don't think it could, but like either way, I would love to see continuation. We're sitting in an anime renaissance, if you will. Bleach is getting new chapters, getting the adaptation. Greg, I also want to get your theories on this, or your opinion on this. Fairy Tail is returning to anime adaptation. It's
Ah.
getting the 100 Years Quest adapted into anime starting next year.
Okay.
Did you watched Fairy Tail, right? What are your thoughts on that?
I never watched Fairy Tail.
Really?
Nah.
I thought you did.
No, my only experience with Fairy Tail was like reading the first 3 or 4 volumes of the manga and then just dropping it after that.
Really? Oh.
Like, don't get me wrong, I just found it kind of overrated. Like some people would say that like the original Final Fantasy VII was overrated. Like,
The mod will
It's-
be here shortly.
yeah, one. I'll deal with it when they get here. Yeah.
Light your torches and pitchforks.
I-
God damn
This
it,
isn't
guys.
Shrek.
Like to put it bluntly, I don't hate Fairy Tail. I'm just not interested.
No, that's fine. You get these people that are like I've seen this a lot on TikTok. Sadly, you get this people that are hating on Fairy Tail because it uses the power of friendship. I'm like, isn't that most shown in anime? Like, correct me if I'm wrong.
Naruto literally uses the power of friendship in most of his big battles to stop the
Bleach
evil.
does it,
If
even
you
though it
wanna
doesn't.
get-
Dragon
like-
Ball.
Dragon Ball does it more than anybody. What I've seen.
No. Dragon Ball, no. Naruto's whole thing was based around friendship and his friendship with
You
Sasuke.
cannot
The
tell me.
entire final fight of his goddamn series was him going up against Sasuke, not only in a battle of ideologies, but just trying to put some goddamn sense into his friend.
I saw in a
And
bridge.
to make him realize that, yeah, I'm your friend, Sasuke.
You motherfucker. But the fact that we're in this renaissance, because like we're getting Matrix 4. I know it doesn't tie into anime, but you know it's weird that we're getting a Matrix 4.
How long has it been since the last one?
Oh God, you had to ask me that, didn't you?
Yep.
Like early 2000s.
Yeah, it was like
right?
2004. I want to say was the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the last movie unfortunately didn't end too well. Like it was a kind of a shitty ending. In my eyes, it was kind of a shitty ending because they showed Neo sacrificing himself to make a deal with machines and humans because the Agent Smith program that the machines created to stop the humans that were unplugged from the Matrix went rampant, got a god complex, tried to take over, and it was treated as a virus. So they asked Neo to delete the virus, and when that happened, Neo sacrificed himself, and the machines took his body into the machine world.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then Matrix,
Why did they need his body?
and then Matrix,
knows?
yeah, Matrix Resurrections picks up. I want to say 20. It literally says in the trailer, Matrix Resurrections. It's called. Is picking up 20 years after the final movie. And the fact that they're bringing back Trinity, they're bringing back Neo, they're bringing back. Apparently, the old characters are being brought back with new actors. Because apparently, Agent Smith is not played by the same guy. Apparently, they're bringing him back, which I don't know how.
Mhm.
Morpheus, the Lawrence Fishburne Morpheus, is nowhere to be found. It's Morpheus is still in the movie. It's just not that actor, and a lot of people had problems with that. Like, and come to light that when the studio wanted to do it, they never asked Lawrence Fishburne to do it because when the first trailer dropped, somebody asked him, "Well, why didn't you want to be in Matrix 4?" That's not that I didn't want to be in it; it's because I wasn't asked.
I wonder why they wouldn't ask him.
And Morpheus is probably a fan favorite character
Mhm.
amongst
the
everybody.
Same thing they did with the guy who played Shaggy in the live action Scooby Doo. He was the Shaggy of Scooby Doo for the longest time. I think he was even the one in What's New Scooby Doo.
Yep.
And they never got a hold of him for that movie Scoob. And people were asking him like, "Oh, hey, how come you didn't, take the role of Shaggy? What's wrong? Like something going on?" He's like, "No, they just never contacted me about it."
And it's sad because you
He
see
is the best Shaggy I've ever heard.
you see these passing of the torches, like with the Sonic voice actor,
Roger Craig Smith.
and he passed the torch on. He was like, you know what, I'm not gonna voice Sonic anymore. I'll let somebody else do it, get some roles.
I'm not sure who they got to voice him now.
I don't know either.
I'll
Check,
actually
look that up. But going back to anime is like, it really is an anime renaissance because we're getting closer to the end of One Piece because they're
Slowly
finishing.
but surely, we're getting to the
They're
end.
finishing up the Wano arc, and from what I've heard, or no, not from what I heard. Oh, excuse me. From what I've seen, the memes have started to pop up again, and Greg knows what I mean by the One Piece memes are popping up again. What?
I'm gonna need to pause for a minute. I can't fully express my gratitude. Sonic the Hedgehog voice actor Roger Craig Smith has surprised fans by announcing he'll once again be voicing the iconic character 4 months after Sega confirmed his departure, so he changed his mind.
So it's oh wow.
It must be at first he wanted to do something else, but so many fans wanted him to
Yeah.
keep the role because he is probably the most, if not one of the most iconic Sonics.
But that starts the conversation is when is enough enough? Like when do you get sick of the character?
When it's not worth the paycheck.
Pretty much.
Well, I mean, look at like characters like SpongeBob. The same guy has been voicing him for over 20 some odd years.
He's got to be just laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, don't bring Tom Kenny into
But what
this.
I'm getting at is, I feel like
I'm not saying he's a bad
as
guy.
long as the voice actor wants to do it, I don't see
Yeah.
why they should.
No, there's nothing wrong with
like,
that.
I was honestly sad when I realized they swapped Knuckles the Echidna's voice actor to someone else.
I think mine made.
Unless that's the movie Knuckles only, which I think it is.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the Idris Elba.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I think that's just for the movie.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure.
On swapping, I was like, oh fuck.
Because if they swap his voice actor out for Idris Elba for the rest of the incarnations of Knuckles throughout the games, that would have made news.
Yeah, that would upset me a little bit. Like the Idris Elba's voice is actually phenomenal, and I could see it fitting Knuckles a lot. But it's just I'm so used to the other guy doing the voice. I know it's not the same one from like the Sonic Adventure DX era.
Yeah.
Like it's somewhat separate from that guy. But it's close enough to where it sounds just like that.
You've gotten used to this version of Knuckles, and this version of Knuckles has not been around so long.
Sounds like that first guy.
And this version of Knuckles hasn't been around long, so you'd be sad if you saw him go. But no, I think
just like I would be sad if Roger Craig Smith would be gone.
I think the Idris Elba Knuckles is just the movie because they wanted to get a big name attached to the movie. And right now, Idris Elba, with him being in the MCU, is a big name.
Who was Idris Elba in the MCU?
He was God damn it. I can't remember. He was best friend to Thor. Heimdall. He had the giant sword that controlled the Bifrost.
The dude with the
orange armor.
The rainbow bridge.
Yeah, that's the Bifrost.
Yeah, I didn't know the name of it.
His sword can establish the Bifrost bridge and control where it goes within the 9 realms.
That's so cool.
Because we thought it was a machine in the MC. I thought it was the machine bridge that spawns it. No. Heimdall's magic itself is connected to the Bifrost, and that's how he was able to send Hulk back to Earth from deep space in Infinity War. But yeah, it's Idris Elba is just the movie. But going back to, I saw the memes popping up again, and Greg knows what the memes are. Is the fact that this long journey will be ended by finding the One Piece. But that One Piece is just a note left by King Gol D. Roger himself saying, the real treasure is the adventure you had with your friends.
How would that make you feel? This
For me,
because they hyped up throughout the entire anime franchise, 1,000+ episodes, 1,000+ chapter mangas. They've hyped up the One Piece as the biggest treasure in the world.
Yeah, but the treasure isn't actually a treasure; it's the journey and the
friends you made along the way. He just leaves a note saying the treasure of the One Piece is the adventures and memories you've made with your crewmates.
Look, that's canny and corny, and I'm all for it. But at the same time, I like the alternative idea that instead of a note saying that it was the friends you made along the way, it's literally One Piece. Like, just a single gold coin. And that's the One Piece. And then the world's government comes to take down the Straw Hats, and then we get into the final battle where we realize the leader of the world government is some eldritch dark god who's been toying with humanity for millions and millions and millions of years.
Because the anime itself doesn't break the internet often.
Yeah.
But when it does, you hear about it. Yeah. And I feel like that would crash the internet entirely. Because you would just hear people like, it's not a giant treasure, it's this, it's that. Nobody knows, even in universe, nobody knows what the One Piece is. I think the only one
is referred to as the
because he says you'll find it all in one place. You'll find it in One Piece. So the name just stuck. Even in canon, people are just calling it the One Piece.
Is Gol D. Roger the only one who knows where it is?
No, I think his
entire crew.
Oh, his entire crew
knew about it.
I was just gonna say,
but like the survivors, the people who are still around and alive, will not reveal what the One Piece is.
They had such respect for Gold. Apparently, Gol D. Roger was the Luffy of his time. Like, if he had his enemies, but he also made a lot of allies.
Wasn't that Ace's father?
Yes, that's Ace's canon biological father. His sword, he named Ace after his sword. Gol D. Rogers' sword was named Ace. And it came to light in a recent information drop on One Piece Facts. It was actually really nice. And then a couple months ago, we got a couple filler arcs where it showed Odin versus Gol D. Roger, and it showed Gol D. Roger versus Whitebeard. And oh boy, did that fight! Like, it showed like a glimpse of the fight. The fight ended, but you know that fight was badass because at the time, Whitebeard was young. He was not sick. He was able to still hold his own in a fight without any bad things happening from the sickness.
Any hindrance,
yeah. He clashed with Gol D. Roger, and it shook the island they were on. There is no facts saying what kind of hockey Gol D. Roger had, or if he had a devil fruit. even if he had a devil fruit.
Technically, he did have Conqueror's Haki.
Oh, did he have
Just
Conqueror's?
So goddamn powerful. Like, he didn't even need to use it that often. Like, he was such a badass that even with Conqueror's Haki, he didn't need it.
Well, yeah, because his name rang across the seas. Like, people
Yeah.
knew who Gold D. Roger was.
I mean,
The only people that were stupid enough to fight him was the constant chasing from the world government in Garp, and the rest of the pirates who thought they had a good idea, and it took both Gold D. Roger and Garp teaming up to stop Gold Lion Shinky, I think it was.
yeah.
And usually, from what we hear, Gold D. Roger is again like Luffy. He was the Luffy of that time. He had his enemies, but he thought of his entire crew as family.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a nice mentality to have. You wouldn't think of that mentality as pirates.
Mhm.
No.
I mean, you hear these mentalities in like pirate movies and stuff, but it doesn't dive into it as much as One Piece does. But yeah, it's beautiful time to be a nerd.
Well-
Definitely is. With all the bad stuff going on, you have the Marvel movies, which a director's running his mouth about right now.
Yeah, I remember that.
Nah,
We talked
did you hear about
it
that?
Saturday.
The director
Probably
for
not.
Dune is running his mouth saying all the Marvel movies are copy and paste. It's turning us into zombies. Yeah, people didn't take. He goes, it's ridiculous. It's sad that all these movies are getting this much attention. And
Isn't Dune just like another?
Dune is a video game movie,
What is the video game about?
post-apocalyptic space.
Probably. I have no clue.
StarCraft, Dead Space, Dead Space 2, Dead Space.
Yeah,
3.
so he's sitting here saying like, what he thinks is he thinks the days of the blockbusters are over. No, they just changed, and it's
They
somebody.
had CN game.
Yeah, it's somebody that's refusing to change with the system.
That's someone stuck wearing nostalgia goggles.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong. There's lackluster MCU movies. There's good MCU movies, but not all of them are copy and paste. You have to start somewhere. And I think what his problem is, he's looking at the earlier Marvel movies with Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Incredible Hulk.
Guarantee he hasn't seen past Civil War.
No, probably not. No, I wouldn't even say Civil War. I guarantee he hasn't seen past Avengers. He probably hasn't even seen Avengers yet. So I think the nostalgia goggles are strong with this one.
Figure it what I see.
Oh.
Oh, wow, that's a little too far, man.
That's fair.
But no, I love the renaissance we are in right now, where literally anything
Oh my god.
can
and
be
then
created.
I think that's one reason why I like the Monster Hunter series. We've been recently playing the new game, Monster Hunter Rise. That
Oh
came out.
God.
Holy crap, that game is so good.
Oh, Greg, I want to get your opinion on this. They want to put Lady.
Lady Dimitrescu
And
from
Monster
Resident
Hunter.
Evil Village. Not Monster Dimitrescu. Lady Dimitrescu, the one with the giant claw hand. They want to put her in as a monster boss in Monster Hunter somehow.
No, they said they just want to put her in Monster Hunter.
I'd be up for that.
But
It'd probably
why?
just be a skin of a hunter, honestly.
But it
Like,
wouldn't mix. Even the skin, it wouldn't mix.
John, I have a Palico, which is a cat fighter dressed as a fox.
So
That doesn't make sense.
because
either.
it's like Japan style esque feudal era. There were like
Lady
even
Dimitrescu is Capcom. They literally had a Mega Man outfit for your Palico in past games. They've had stuff from Fairy Tail in past games. They've had stuff from
Fairy Tale you can
Metroid and Legend of Zelda.
Fairy Tale and Legend of Zelda you can get away with because
Metroid.
no, that's you. I didn't say Metroid. I said Legend of Zelda
I know what you're
and
saying.
Fairy
because
Tale
it
you can
fits
get
the
away
era.
with. Exactly.
Did you
Metroid-
not see Resident Evil Village? That was a medieval sort of village.
Yeah, but it was in modern times. You had modern weaponry.
Medieval style.
Have you seen one of the bosses? It was a giant mech.
Yes.
That doesn't fit. I'm sorry, but that doesn't fit
No,
what
I'm
Resident.
not talking about the entirety of the game. I'm talking about her part of the game. Her mansion was very medieval times esque, so
That-
it's of that era.
but
I
that's-
think that's the main, if not the
I
only
don't
reason,
know.
besides it being Capcom,
I think that's like,
as to why they'd want to even mention it.
but I think it's like that. Yeah, but that's European medieval era. It's totally different. Like the feudal Japan era was totally different from the medieval era of Europe.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is it's the newest big Capcom game that's come out, so they
Yeah.
want to slap it into.
That's
the
not,
game.
that's not even getting mixed reviews lately.
The story I feel like was way too short.
That's what people are
Like I
like.
watched Markiplier's playthrough of it. way too short. I would have the same complaint of Resident Evil 3's remake, but it was a remake, so
I gotta
you
finish.
can't really complain about the remake.
Yeah. Any Pokemon news? Any stuff you wanna?
None that I.
Because I know we're getting
have
closer
heard of.
to Shining Diamond, Brilliant Pearl. 2 months away.
Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl.
I don't care.
BDSP.
That sounds like a weird sex thing.
No, that's BDSM. It's BDSP, John.
It's off
It's
by
one letter,
Yeah.
man.
One letter.
That's why you got to make sure not to say the N. Right?
BDSM.
You're putting kids into some very creepy search engines.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna do that. But
I'm
no,
just gonna
it's.
say the Diamond Pearl remakes. They come out. I actually have it on my.
I'm about to say, yeah, look that up because I wanna pre-order my copy.
I have that and the Legends Arceus set on my calendar.
I can't wait for Legends
Brilliant
Arceus.
Diamond
That's
and
gonna be a
Shining-
good one.
Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl come out on November 19th. I've already pre-ordered my digital copy. And then Legends Arceus comes out January 28th.
Not
I
soon
have
enough.
not pre-ordered that yet because I want to see if there's any pre-order.
I heard rumors. Breaking news. I heard rumors. Thank you, Alex. Breaking news on that. I heard rumors are potentially a Pokeball from Legends of Arceus and a Steelbook for the collect. I want to say it's like the collector's edition. I saw.
Oh, if you pre-order it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I will send it to you if I find it. But or you can look it up.
Continue talking. I'm gonna look at it.
Yeah, it was a Pokeball that you get in the game, the wind-up Pokeball with the flare, and I think that's really cool. I
Yeah.
think that they're going the right way, and I hope this spawns into a spinoff series that Let's Go was supposed to do, but they never did. No, it's definitely a good time to be a nerd. We're getting a lot of things. When you're getting actors who you never thought of that want to see go into the multiverse of movies, you know we're getting something special nowadays. And even with all the hate going on right now, Greg, we had a big conversation about this last week or Saturday.
Steelbook and a Pokeball replica.
So I was right. Okay, glad I was right. The thing I want to talk about
this is from Amazon UK, but I'm sure if it's
Yeah.
there, it'll be in GameStop and whatnot.
a couple weeks ago, a wrestler had committed suicide,
You're right.
and by the time the police found her, it was too late. She was already gone. I just want to point out the fact that in this world where we have a bunch of hate going on right now, and I will push this to the T until it starts getting through people's ears.
Yeah.
We need to forget for a minute that we look different. We need to forget the fact that we may not look all the same. We're not skinny. We're not fat. We're not all short. We're not all tall. We're not all this. We're not all that. We're still people. And with what's going on in the world today, you see these stories. You see these people getting attacked. You see these people getting hurt for no reason. And it kind of
Just because someone has a different opinion, has a different
Yeah.
ideology, looks different than you, thinks different than you, does different things than you, does not mean you need to judge them negatively. We're all our own people.
it's sad that we're getting to the day and age where you can't even be a person anymore.
You can't.
And it's
you
gotten
have to-
worse over the
Your
years.
opinion has to be the majority nowadays, or
Yeah.
else they don't like you.
Now, my opinion is I prefer Digimon over Pokemon.
I prefer Pokemon over Digimon.
But the
We're
thing
still
is,
friends.
I was gonna say we both like the
Oh,
other
we both-
respective.
We
Yeah.
both like both of them.
No, no,
I'm just
I'm-
saying we can still be friends.
I try to find a balance of things. I'm in the middle.
Hey, that's what we're trying to say. Is like
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Pokemon.
I will say
More-
one of the main things that Pokemon has me more than Digimon is one,
Shinies.
I played it growing up, and two, shiny hunting. Like,
For-
it adds so much more to me, and I love the hunt.
For me, it was Pokemon. For me, I enjoyed Pokemon when I was young. I did play some of the games. I wasn't as diehard fan as Alex, but I did play the games.
Mhm.
But I watched Digimon more, and at the time, there really weren't no Digimon games
Mhm.
out. There was when I was watching it. There was Digimon Rumble Arena 2,
They
so,
had
which
those
was a
little
fighter.
figure things, though. The
Yeah.
little Tamagotchi sort
They
of
had the
things.
action figures. They had the Tamagotchis. They had the Digivices where you would scan the barcode and your
Yeah.
Digimon would Digivolve, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah.
No, we're
I
living.
will say one thing about Digimon that I like, and I wish Pokemon did, was the ability to branch evolve, or at least evolve and revert back to the previous form.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Because
Can
in
you-
the anime, they said Slowpoke can do it. If the Shelder lets go of its tail or its head when it's Slowking or Slowbro, it goes back to a Slowpoke and a Shelder. But that's the only one that does that. And it's, well, no, because I think there's actually another Pokemon that says does that. Oh,
I-
yeah, Executor. One
Oh,
of its
really?
heads falls off. it'll eventually become an execute.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Right. Those kinds of Pokemon facts.
That's
I
kinda
think
cool.
My personal favorite is the fact. Well, actually, two is the fact that like Girafare's tail is technically alive, and then also Wobbuffet's tail is actually the real Wobbuffet.
Yeah.
And the body itself is like a balloon.
The blue is all a punching bag, so you don't attack its tail.
But how
That's
does
why the tail has eyes.
But why does the mouth moves on the body? That's so weird.
Oh no, that's its real mouth.
What? I'm sorry.
Its
What?
tail contains its brain and its eyes.
I'm never gonna look at Wobbuffet the
Or
same.
it has another set of eyes above its mouth. But
So if I catch
that big blue part,
Yeah.
that is not its like weak spot. Its weak spot is the tail, where it's like brain and shit.
Can we just can I catch a Wobbuffet and call him Bozo?
I mean, I'm not
No,
gonna stop
Boppo,
you.
dude.
Oh, Boppo. Sorry,
From
Boppo.
Rugrats, dude. I am Boppo.
But no, like I love the fact that we got Dragon Ball Super coming back with the movie. Plus, I think we're getting the animated Moro arc next
I was
year.
gonna say, when's the moral arc coming out?
I think that's
Right.
starting next year.
Oh, it takes forever. But
Yeah. They
that's
want to make
amazing.
things good. They're video game companies, anime
I both
companies.
have patience and lack patience.
Yeah,
because
same
of
here.
excitement.
Digimon Survive got pushed back till next year.
Didn't they say it was gonna look terrible? Or
That was Ricky.
Rick was
Yeah,
talking
Ricky
about
said-
the graphics looked bad or
Mhm.
something.
It looks weird. I'll send you a picture. I mean, I'll probably still try to play it, but I want another Digimon Cyber Sleuth game. Like, not Digimon Cyber Sleuth, but something with those mechanics in there.
Like you want that to be the building blocks for the core.
Yeah,
Digimon
yeah. So
games.
that's their version of
like the core
Digimon
Digimon,
games,
games.
yeah.
You want it to be like that.
and it doesn't have to be like the Cyber Sleuth games. Could you don't even have to keep calling it Cyber Sleuth. Be like Pokemon and just change the name because if you think about it, Digimon Cyber Sleuth
Can you imagine?
and
if they
Hacker's
did a
Memory are just a
Digimon-
black and white too.
Can you imagine if they did a remaster of Digimon World Dusk and Dawn?
I would
Like a
No.
HD
Those games
remaster.
weren't really that fun, honestly.
What, an HD remaster?
I want to see a Digimon World 1, 2, and 3 remastered.
Does that play just like Cyber Sleuth?
No, but they were iconic. Digimon World 3 goes for like $80 to $100 on eBay for brand new. That actually Digimon World 3 is what gave us the Cyber Sleuth building blocks. Because Digimon Adventure or Digimon World 2 was a dungeon crawler
Kind of
take turns attack style.
like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon.
Yeah, and then Digimon World 1 was the quintessential game where it was you walk around, you saw your Digimon fight, but you didn't do nothing.
So it was literally like Pokemon Legends.
Yeah.
Or how Pokemon Legends is going to be to us.
Yeah, and then
to an extent.
Digimon World 3 was the building blocks for Cyber Sleuth. Though we got Cyber Sleuth like 20, 25 years later.
Yeah.
But it's to the fact that we got all these things lasting this long, like Digimon, Pokemon, Power Rangers.
I would love
Comics.
I would love to see them bring back fucking Beat 'em on. Not Beat 'em on Crossfire, where it was all shooting targets. The player versus player Beat 'em on.
Yeah, I
With
remember that.
Yamato, Gray, Bull.
I don't remember any of the character
Oh
names.
my god, dude! I binge watched it one time on
But,
YouTube because the episodes were on.
But
there.
Greg, you've been kind of quiet during this whole anime-esque
Yeah, I noticed.
renaissance.
I'm not the quietest one this
Yeah,
time.
what are your thoughts on the whole anime renaissance? Thoughts about all these old animes coming back, all these new animes sprouting up?
Personally, I am in the opinion that we should focus more on newer things. A bunch of these reboots are stuff that like I'd be interested in seeing again, but like not entirely too invested in. Personally speaking, if I think I mentioned this in a previous podcast before, but if I wanted like a different reboot to come up again, it would be for Bubble. Just to have that finished.
I actually will agree with you on that one.
Like, no offense to Beat 'em on and stuff like that, but I could care less for those kinds of anime.
Mhm.
I'd rather see a newer product come out
The fact that
and get more popular than just go back to the same thing again. Like, let's see here. Take for example, Boruto. Now that its anime is finally is starting to get good.
It took like 150 some odd episodes.
No, it's finally reached like the 200 plus episode range, and now it's starting to get good.
A lot of things
like-
are on the line right now in that anime.
Jeez. And the manga is starting to get up. And then we got like Dragon Ball Super, which is a continuation, not a reboot. Like, I would rather have continuations rather than reboots, if that makes sense.
Do you think with Black Clover ending, do you think we'll get a continuation on Black Clover?
We will eventually, and like I was actually going to mention that. Like Black Clover is nearing its end just because it's caught up with the manga. It's caught up with the manga.
Wow. See, that I didn't know. I thought the manga ended.
I
I
don't know whether or not Black Clover's manga has ended. I will have to look that up personally, but I know that Demon Slayer's manga has ended. I know that like the Promised Neverland manga has ended.
Uh-oh.
I've known like 3 different other anime have ended, including like Attack on Titan's manga, which is controversial because of how that one ended.
Yeah, I'm not.
I heard after the time skip it went downhill. I haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna watch it either way, but I heard that it went downhill.
I'm kind of staying away from that because
yeah,
I heard it got the Tokyo Ghoul treatment of time skips. And it wasn't
I would
pretty.
say either way towards that. So
I mean, I'm not gonna watch it. I don't care if you spoil it, but yeah, he's going to watch it.
Yeah, I would rather not spoil it.
Do you think that if they start bringing out more new animes, how long do you guys think it's gonna take for shows like Boruto and Dragon Ball Super to kind of take a back seat to all this? Because for a time,
it depends. I think that at least one of them, like Bleach, is probably at this point taking a back seat.
Bleach is only doing the 1,000-Year Blood War arc, which is the last big arc, and then at least for animated, that is it. The 1,000-Year Blood War arc is the finale arc for Bleach. After that, it's like a 1-chapter time skip to see what everybody's doing in their older years. Like Ichigo's a father, he's got a son or daughter, and it just kind of patches everything up.
yeah.
But it just. So what were you saying? Do you think? Because you said Bleach.
Yeah, because I just know that it's either not doing anything right now, like there's nothing released for right now, but My Hero's picking up and it's going into that big arc, so I know that's taking at least one of the spots.
Yup.
Of big 3. I don't know which of the 3 would be moved out of One Piece, Naruto, or Bleach, but I just know My Hero's pushing one of them out.
There was a story a while back, I don't know if it's still relevant today, where it said One Piece in manga sales has outsold Batman in comic sales over here in the States.
No, that's true. In fact, it's a
Is it? No, what I'm saying is it still true? Is what I'm saying.
It is. It is still.
Because I didn't know if the manga sales
issue.
dropped.
Manga is vastly overcoming. Well, is vastly taking over like sales rather than comics. It's actually a big problem for both Marvel and DC. And this is not getting into like the drama that's going inside between both companies.
Yeah, businesses.
Like Marvel's losing Marvel and DC are both losing like a good portion of their artists and writers who have since joined other venues because they no longer want to be dealing with the higher ups.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. Like,
I wonder if a lot of them it was because now that Stan Lee's gone, it just doesn't feel the same.
No.
It doesn't have anything to do with that.
Stan Lee in his later years didn't really have anything to do in his later years didn't have really nothing to do with Marvel. He was just more of the spokes guy. It wasn't really like he did in his younger years. He was a part of the Marvel company, but later he's just a spokesperson. That's it. It's. He was the one that really pounds into my head the mentality of it doesn't matter what you are, we're all human.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely become a problem. Well, not I say it's a problem because I love comics, but I also love manga, so I'm glad mangas over here are getting the recognition they deserve. But it's a double-edged sword where they're getting the recognition they deserve, but then comics are taking a back seat.
Yeah.
And it's starting to frustrate companies. But I think mostly that's the problem with Marvel and DC because they're concentrating on the movie side rather than you hire specifically one person to deal with the movie side and then you let the comic book side do their stuff, which I heard they got one good story coming out, but it's sad to see that that comics are definitely taking a backseat to mangas, which I think should not be the other way around. There should be a happy medium.
Mm-hmm.
But with DC pushing one character all the fucking time,
yeah,
constantly,
I do notice that DC pushes one, maybe two characters all the time. Marvel's got a good plethora of popular characters to where they don't need to rely on just like one or two.
Yep. In my opinion, the only reason why Barry Allen Flash has gotten much traction as he did
Who's the CW?
is because of the CW show. Because before that, Barry Allen was the Silver Age Flash, and going into the modern era, it was Wally West. But then they brought back Barry Allen. But during Wally West's time in the comics as Flash, they had Wally West as the Flash on the Justice League cartoon show, which really got people interested in it. But then when they brought Barry Allen back, there was a lot of people who were like, Wally West was my Flash when I started reading. So it was the CW show, in my opinion, that really got the eyes on the Barry Allen character. But, Greg, you have any other thoughts on this?
Honestly, no. I really don't.
It's
like, maybe in a different podcast I might have something more to say, but like it's like I said earlier, if you don't like when you start up a podcast like this, especially if you don't like research into it heavily, you don't have like the full context of things, and you're only going off by what you know. Now, that isn't necessarily a bad thing, but like personally, I just don't have any more information or anything else to really say.
No, I didn't know if you wanted to add to the whole Renaissance like little topic, because I only put this in as like this isn't a news story or nothing. I just figured it's something off the top of my head that we could talk about towards the end if I didn't have no more news stories, which I don't. We covered everything.
No, I'm thinking I'm good.
Now, with you becoming a budding anime person or a budding anime fan, where you were just beginning to bloom.
I will say one anime I don't know if you know I watch, but I'm watching it on my own time. Besides the original Dragon Ball, I'm going from the very beginning all the way to Super. Another anime I'm watching through is Assassination Classroom.
I have not watched that, but that is part of like the shonen universe.
It's really good.
So far, since you've watched these animes, you watched anime with me, you've watched anime on your own time, what is your favorite anime by far? And that can include the Digimon, which when it gets dubbed, hopefully, I do encourage you to watch the Digimon reboot, because the animation alone is something to watch. It's beautiful. And the fact that where in the original anime there's just that one line, where occasionally you'll see a different Digivolution, but
you'll occasionally see a different path. There's usually the canonical path that you always see.
Yeah.
But as of right now, what is your favorite anime that it could be one you watch when you're watching now?
One based on story, and it might be a little too soon to tell because I have yet to see any further, but just based on season 1 alone, Demon Slayer is probably my favorite. I love the the like feudal Japan era feel to it. I love the fighting the demons, the way the different fight styles are, like the lightning style, beast style, water style. I love that. It's just so well done. And probably my close second would be My Hero, just because the superhero thing is really like interesting me.
And we've all known the stories of the creator taking his inspiration for My Hero from Western comics. And
Hanta Sero or Cellophane, one of the students, is based off of Spider-Man.
I love that. I love the fact that there's a lot of things over here that we can tell are taking notes from Japan animes, like Avatar: The Last Airbender, these drawn-out storytellings where you get multiple seasons to tell one story and then eventually it ends.
Yeah.
Unlike cartoons of the past where it would just be individual stories where it would just be tied to one episode.
It's not one big storyline. It's just a bunch of little wacky adventures.
And a lot. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's classics like cartoons like that, and they're not bad. But I also like the drawn-out stories, like Avatar: The Last Airbender is a masterpiece.
I will say I prefer the shows and animes that actually have something that builds instead of just one-off story things.
Did you see they released the Avatar Comet pop figure, where it's Aang, it's Aang in the Avatar state, and he's got water flowing around him, and air bubble rocks flowing around him, and then fire flowing around him?
No, I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, it's nice. They call that move the Avatar Comet. Because the way he uses it in the show, he flings water at Ozai to throw him off, throws rocks at him to throw him off, fire at him to throw him off, and then he just slams right into him with the air bubble.
Nice.
Well, we're going to end this there. This has been a very productive podcast. Any final thoughts, gentlemen, on the anime renaissance? I know you won't, but any last thoughts? What? Wait, actually, before we go, I want to get your thoughts on where we're at in Naruto. I want to get your thoughts on the Ninja War.
From where we're at, it's really interesting. Like we skipped to the Ninja War because there's a lot of just filler and stuff like that. But where we're at right now involves the Ten Tails, I think, just being awoken.
Yep.
Or
It's just starting
He's now on the 4th Great Ninja War.
He's been watching it with me, and
there are so many fucking episodes for this. And why do they have filler in between the Ninja War? I hate that so much.
I will tell you this now. Anime kid, God.
One Piece has a lot of filler.
It caught up to the manga too fast. That's why you have all this filler. Okay? That's really it.
We're gonna end things here, guys. I thank you for joining us here in the studio.
Yeah, what a studio.
Shut up. It's a studio.
It's a live studio garage.
Live studio audience. Well, but as always, I am your host, John.
I'm Alex.
I'm Greg.
We will see you guys next time on the Not So Fast podcast.
Take care.